Welcome everyone to this Ward's Auto Fast Chat video interview with Dell Technologies. I'm Stephen Bell, Chief Analyst with Ward's Intelligence, and I cover connectivity. I'm joined today by Dr. Saeed Tabet, Distinguished Engineer, Chief Architect, Digital Ecosystems for the Global CTO Office at Dell Technologies. Saeed is a global lead for mobility digital ecosystem and digital twins at the Dell Technologies CTO office, and he is also a member of the Object Management Group Board of Directors and a member of the Digital Twin Consortium Steering Committee. Saeed is a member of the Automotive Edge Computing Consortium Board of Directors and a liaison representative with 3GPP and 5GAA. Without doubt, Saeed is one of the individuals that is shaping the world of automotive. Thank you, Saeed, for being with us.
Thank you, Steve.
So without doubt, the automotive industry is going through a transformation, and connectivity and compute capability is a key part of that journey. Connectivity technology is continually advancing, but what's it used for, and who is influencing the direction and adoption in automotive is a key question I'm sort of constantly looking at. In fact, we ran a survey with yourselves in August of this year to look at what is happening in that connectivity continuum, and the results of some of that survey we're going to release a joint white paper in the new year. So, having said that and set the scene, Saeed, the shifts happening in automotive, but what's driving the acceleration of that digital transformation, and what are the enabling technologies that you're seeing?
Excellent. That's a great question. Thank you, Steve. So as I say, change is coming. The automotive industry is slowly starting to switch into a mobility industry, and that requires a software-defined approach, a much more, I would say, disciplined and focused digital transformation. From that perspective, we see an opportunity across the board. And these enablers, as you say, we talk about AI algorithms in the car. We talk about a lot of the next generation hardware and the sensors, edge computing, and of course, equally important, as you said earlier, communication and connectivity. Most vehicles are now being connected, and we're going to see that speeding up as well. With all of this said, bringing decades of expertise and excellence in the computer and technology industry from a Dell point of view is a good start. But we see with these enabling technologies, again, a push towards a more sustainable and cost-effective approach. Current connected ADAS architectures are still complex. When you look at the fleets of test vehicles, there's so many sensors. We need to bring that down. Interactions between the components are complex. That needs to be standardized. There are a lot of activities and initiatives out there. We need to see more of it. And then we have to see this ecosystem from an end-to-end point of view, from the moment the designers are working on the vehicle to the moment that vehicle is operational in the hands of the consumer. And we see huge opportunities with these levels of communications, the data sharing, the intelligent collaboration with the surrounding environments. Think about smart buildings, digital cities, et cetera. So that's also going to be very important, enabled through those technologies we just talked about.
So with great opportunity also comes great challenges, and the enterprise arena that Dell has been associated with for a long time has been very aware of security. But with the automotive industry, it's almost as if there's a rapid acceleration in terms of having to get ready for cybersecurity. Are you seeing that in terms of your dealings?
Absolutely, Steve. I mean, that is a really, really important question from a number of perspectives. So we look at safety, functional safety, of course, and then cybersecurity and privacy challenges. There is this dream of, L5 with zero accidents, right? Maybe close to that. But we need to be, to your point, to be cognizant of these challenges around cybersecurity. When we get to the point of deployments of millions of vehicles that constantly connected in real time, dealing with all these kinds of vulnerabilities, that is a challenge. And that's why they are starting to explore ways to deal with that issue, with that challenge. Connectivity is a key enabler for safety. That's really important. It is central. As you know, we have to think about all these new regulations. UNECE is one of them from a software and firmware point of view, but there are a number of others that are coming, either regional or global. Recently, back in October at Dell, we announced Zero Trust Cybersecurity Services and also Zero Trust Center of Excellence using the U.S. Department of Defense approved architecture. We believe that the future of mobility as an ecosystem will operate in a multi-cloud environment. You talked earlier about that continuum, and that's really important. These fleets of vehicles, they need to rely on a cybersecurity strategy all the way from the infrastructure to the applications, the services, the data, even the user experience. So that's all going to be important. And the OEMs are aware of that. And I think that's why there is this acceleration, as you mentioned. Yeah.
The other aspect that you've talked about was the ecosystem and the supply chain. And obviously, security goes across the supply chain, but also we're starting to see the reversal of globalization along those supply chains. So, how's that impacting the technology choices as well?
Really interesting. That is a challenge on its own, because we've seen that originally, where a lot of the OEMs are starting to explore these more global collaborations. Then we see the vulnerability on its own, the risk management that came afterwards. So there is going to be a more disciplined focus, as I say, on an end-to-end digitalization from their perspective, each one of them. There are some regional initiatives. For example, Catena X is a good approach in Europe. It's going in the right direction, but hopefully these new collaboration models, they will enable a better flow of interoperable data. And I say that because often these models don't talk to each other. They're different formats, different structures. And so this is really important to be viewed as a way to enable those capabilities. We're going to see again, basically OEM working more closely with technology providers and MNOs, and connectivity is important. I have a few concerns there, obviously, around the technology stacks that are being viewed in silos, and I think that is not sustainable. It's not going to work at scale. And the need to have a better alignment between the CSPs and the OEMs is another really, really important question that we have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I think camera, the sort of the initiative for API, common APIs is a good starting point, I think, along those lines. But as you work with partners to address the challenges, how much of this is a matter of sort of mindset versus technology, and who's got to change the most?
Really interesting. Steve, you remind me of a discussion I had with one of the most senior C-level executives at one of the top OEMs, actually. I won't say which one, and he was telling me, Said, for us to change and embrace this future, as we talk about mobility industry, not just automotive, we need to bring technology partners and work very closely with them. We're not going to become a software company overnight. There is that realization. But I think to your point, a lot of it is mindset, but there's also a sense of this really important, not only collaboration, but to see how this kind of working through a journey to enable that change to happen properly. And that's really kind of from that perspective, the OEM customers and the partners, when you think about us as Dell and others, we're not traditionally a tier one player, right? But such partnership, they will yield a lot of benefits because we have a different perspective, right? A fresh view into that domain that I think they will benefit from a lot of those types of collaborations. Yeah.
Are you seeing that shifting more than in the last 2 years than over the last 5 years? And are you seeing it accelerating?
Absolutely. We've seen this shift happening, if you will, from the point of view of digital transformation, which is really interesting because a lot of it is a societal problem, right? We've seen it in other industries, and I think this is a huge benefit to the automotive industry. At the end of the day, the value of the vehicle in the near future, and I hope you agree with me, will be in the software services and the electronics, right? The majority of the value, I would say, not all of it. So I think, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and that service is going to continue over the life of the vehicle, and those lives of the vehicle are going to be longer as you start to see EVs coming in and so forth. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting arena in which we're playing in. So Saeed, thank you very much for your time and for joining me on this Ward's Auto Fast Chat. You provided some great information and fascinating insights as ever, and on this important and emerging area. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
And on behalf of Dell Technologies and Ward's Auto, thank you and our audience for spending time with us. And we hope to see you again on another Ward's Auto Fast Chat. Thank you.